We seem to be getting clarity on the Dodgers' plans while the trade deadline approaches. Let's deflate this whole Luka Doncic hates being in LA fake story before it really takes hold. And the Rams have a hole at left tackle, which is something I'd panic over, but not Sean McVay. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for your greatest sports city anywhere on the planet, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is July 26, 2025. I am back in Oregon for work. This time I'm at a different half-star hotel. So if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 5, Boston 2. The Dodgers' magic number down to 53. And oh, by the way, the division lead is back up to 6. Yes, a week and a half ago, everybody be a panicking. I was telling you guys to hold your water. The lead is safe again. Mookie Betts didn't play in yesterday's much ballyhooed return to Fenway because he didn't return to Fenway. He had a personal issue to take care of. Betts, by the way, is not a sure thing for today's game either. The Galaxy at Houston was postponed due to a torrential downpour. We still don't know when it's going to be made up. Portland edged LAFC 1-0. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers are at Boston at 4. The Sparks are at New York, also at 4. What do you say we get to the news? The pieces are starting to come together. Based on a couple of factors, what we know, how the Dodgers operate during the trade deadline, and then you couple that with some pretty legitimate baseball scribes. Put it together, and it might shock you to know that although a bullpen upgrade would be nice, Ken Rosenthal, the bow tie guy from Fox, is reporting that it's doubtful the Dodgers will push the chips all in for an elite reliever, such as, Cleveland's Emmanuel Clase. There are more than a half dozen closers available. You just have to pay handsomely for it, and Andrew Friedman just isn't cool with the sticker shock. Even if some recent rumors became partially true, that the Dodgers would consider trading away starting pitcher Dustin May, it would be for an outfielder, apparently. The reason behind that, why would you trade pitching for pitching? LA has an abundance of starters. Shifting May back to the bullpen might be a temporary solution. Walker Buehler was the closer in the clinching World Series game, after all. Also, The Athletic is reporting that the Dodgers are looking to add not an elite closer, but a left-handed hitter instead, such as the Cardinals' Brendan Donovan, who is the latest St. Louis version of Tommy Edman. Harrison Bader of Minnesota is another guy who has caught the Dodgers' fancy. The idea is that Michael Conforto doesn't look like a potential World Series hero. Now, Donovan does not have much outfield experience, but if you have him in the infield, that would enable Dave Roberts to nudge Edman back to the outfield, where he would team up with Teoscar Hernandez and Andy Pages. So, let's go back to the bullpen. See, one of the things that if you followed the Dodgers for a while with Friedman, he tries to solve multiple problems at once. It isn't overpay for one guy. It's usually how can I get multiple guys and not overpay for both. So you take a second look at the bullpen, and this is where the typical way the Dodgers do business starts to get a little hint. Mass Live, a media outlet that I haven't previously heard of. They're not associated with, say, the Boston Globe or the Boston Herald. They're claiming the Red Sox have been asking the Dodgers repeatedly about Dalton Rushing. Now, I realize Dalton Rushing is an elite prospect He's currently with the big club. But trading him might actually make sense. See, last year I saw Rushing play outfield in the minors. The Dodgers put him out there for Oklahoma City. It didn't go that well. He's played catcher, but he's not supplanting Will Smith. He's played some first. He damn sure is not supplanting Freddie Freeman. So you're just going to keep him there as a sub for years upon years? Would you? What I'm trying to get at is this. Everybody knows the Dodgers will make some really complex deals at the deadline. So when you hear that they just want one guy, that's false. They try to solve, again, multiple issues on the roster at once. We know that from experience. Take last year alone. Andrew Friedman sat on the sideline, waited to find out about another trade that was going down, and then he called both teams and asked if he could jump in. This is how the Dodgers managed to land both Edman from St. Louis and Michael Kopech from the White Sox last year. I am not predicting Rushing is going to get moved, but if it would gain a variety of prospects from Boston that they could turn into a reliever from a third team and Donovan from St. Louis, well, now you have made Andrew Friedman one happy guy because that idea checks all the boxes. Does it solve multiple problems? Check. Does it involve a minimum of 3 teams? Check. Are there so many players around that nobody else can see the bigger picture but Andrew Friedman? Check. It's starting to get, the fact that it's opaque, the fact that you're seeing so many names bandied about, and the fact that the most glaring need is something that Andrew Friedman is absolutely loath to overpay for. That might be the plan. Sending out a couple of people for as many prospects as possible to turn into a left-handed bat and a decent reliever. And have Dave Roberts figure out who's going to get the last 3 outs. Let me know what you think, of course, in the comments thread. You are going to hear a lot of rumors in the next week, or perhaps the next entire year, about Luka Doncic's future with the Lakers. Some of this stuff we have already discussed on the program, but I do have one more point to make, which is why I'm bringing it up again. Beginning a week from today, Doncic will be eligible to sign an extension with this new team. Here's what you should understand before the rumors get too crazy. He is currently eligible for a 4-year, $222 million offer. But if he wants to make a bigger financial splash in the future, he could just go 3 years, $160 million with a player option for a 4th. And when year 4 comes around, well, he could be in line for a deal worth $369 million. Crazy, don't you think? So no matter what happens, Doncic signs a 4-year deal, Doncic signs a 3-year deal, Doncic does whatever. There will be bloggers and gossipers claiming that, much like LeBron James, Doncic must want out of LA. That's what this proves. Look, none of that turned out to be true with James. It turned out to be poo, not true. But here's why it's not true with Doncic either. Doncic recruited Marcus Smart to come to LA, sending him texts, sending him phone calls. Why would Luka Doncic do that if he did not want to stay? Care to answer me that, Laker gossipers? Rams left tackle Alaric Jackson took his legs and his blood clots out for a jog Friday at training camp. Nothing too stressful. Friday was a light day, but it does make you wonder if there is going to be a battle to replace him at left tackle because he's barely jogging And last time he had blood clot problems, he was out for 9 games. Sean McVay, though, isn't sounding like there's an issue yet. He is saying that DJ Humphries and Warren McClendon are legit options. Something to keep an eye on. Pardon me. I remain in awe every time somebody writes another autopsy on the 2020 Clippers. How many years are we away from 2020? I know we can do the math, but it seems like a lot longer, wouldn't you say? And every so often, we still get another story about how the 2020 Clippers were this sure thing. Talking about the 2020 Clippers is literally like all those Joe Biden books that have been coming out about how the president didn't even remember to zip up his fly. Like that's breaking news. We knew the man couldn't zip up his fly. We know the 2020 Clippers blew a golden opportunity. But that didn't stop a scribe from some website called Basketball Network from still spilling more tea or spilling more sewage. A scribe befriended a Clippers insider and told us all the following: that Kawhi Leonard started making pimp moves from day one. Both Leonard and Paul George arrived at LAX in separate private helicopters. That even prefaced things we already knew. We already knew that Kawhi Leonard went with load management, but there was apparently something that came down that really pissed off his teammates. Leonard wanted absolute privacy before every game. Not just from the scribes. You weren't allowed to talk to him if you were a teammate. So this inside source with the Clippers said, quote, "How do you ever build a strong team with that bleep going on? I thought from the beginning, we're doomed. Kawhi wants too much special treatment," unquote. Leonard was also late to a ton of plane flights. This is the type of thing, by the way, that got DeAndre Ayton chased out of Portland and into LA. Lou Williams would later say of the team, quote, "I think a lot of the issues that we ran into, talent bailed us out. Chemistry didn't." The reason I bring this up is not to rehash the past, by the way. Again, the COVID bubble is ancient history. But I bring it up for a slightly different reason. How many of these special Kawhi rules still apply? For that matter, how many special James Harden rules are there? And so on. And if that's the case, how does anybody expect the Clippers to be a winner this year? Or at least a championship contender, I should say. Former Chargers wide receiver DJ Chark has a new job with Atlanta. The Falcons, not Publix. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example, about if you think there's some clarity for the Dodger trade deadline plans. For that matter, do you believe for one instant that Luka Doncic would actually leave LA? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.